Israel. Who's the power? Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power. Yeah. Who's the power? Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power. Yeah. I'm chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayan with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom, yeah. Who are we? Israel! Then who are we? Israel! Can't hear you! Israel. Who's the power? Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power, yeah.
Shalom, family. Yeah, we're the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, and we're out here at 2016 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia. And we're reporting live on Fridays, so our class times are, Tuesdays, Thursdays. But those class days are not live, but we have those from 7 to 9 p.m. So if you are local, we are here on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then of course today is Friday, so we're live from 7 to 9 p.m. And then we have the Sabbath classes on Saturday, which are not live out here in Virginia, but you can check out Houston definitely, and their channel, they'll be live. But we have the Blog Talk Radio. I see y'all. But yeah, we have the Houston location, the Virginia, Rochester, San Antonio, and she definitely put those up on the YouTube, so you can definitely check out the different locations. But we have the Blog Talk Radio as well, and the different channels as well too, to facilitate, just bringing out the word. The Hidden True Bible Show, the Israelite Media Course, the 5 Minutes of Wisdom. So just different avenues of just, spreading out the word, spreading out the wisdom, because it's always about how can we win the soul. So, we have these different avenues. But we also have the Israel wear. So the Israel wear is accepting orders as well. So if you want a custom garment, custom apparel, a Hebrew Israelite garment, like with the headbands, the armbands that you see, so the girdles, all the things that you see, the sisters have them. And you see the picture up there as well. So we also have the Fringed Up as well too. You can subscribe to that. So that's on the isbsbk.com/fringed up. So you can do that as well. And then we do have the Hebrew Academy as well here in Norfolk and in Rochester. Those are on Mondays. So and that's from 9 to 10. So no, 8 to 10. Salakia. 8 to 10. So on those days we do it from 8 to 10 on Monday. But then you can also check out Houston on Tuesdays, and they do the via Zoom if you're not local. So you can check them out as well. And then if you want to contact the Preist Chaazaqya and Chaazaqya, their number will be on the screen. So you can definitely contact Chaazaqya and Chaazaqya if you want counsel. So yes, and then we have the Sweet Ambiance too. So if you want to support the business, we have the sweetambiance.com. So you can check out the business and if you want to support. So definitely, that's definitely we got some nice fragrances, bath bomb soaps. We got all of it.
Bro, they see that up there. We need to take that down. If they want to support Deb, they could do that. All right, y'all. So you said all the announcements.
Yes, sir.
The alms, you finished that? Okay, the alms, y'all see it up there. We ask for it every class. If y'all want to help. All right. Any questions starting out with class? Let's go into tonight. Any questions? Anybody got anything want to talk about before we get into tonight's topic? Anything? We are online. Testing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Gracious. Yeah. Did you tell them about the Passover garments?
Oh, no.
Right. Passover garments, everybody knows by now, right? You got to go on there now, put in, or you're going to be left out for the Passover. So who went online already and put in for a Passover garment? Okay, raise your hand so I can know. Asa, you didn't do it yet?
Live.
You don't got to pay. You don't know that. They want to know who's getting a garment so they can account for how many people are getting garments. So you got to go in there. Gamar, were you going on there?
I'm going there right now.
Yeah. Remember, you don't got to pay. We're just trying to get... We're trying to get make sure they got everybody that is going to get garments. Test. What y'all doing with it? Right. So, yeah. Go on there, brothers and sisters. We're trying to let you know now. That way, in the last moment, you don't come and say you don't have a garment. Right? We're not trying to be insensitive. We're not trying to be insensitive and forget about y'all, and then it'd be like, well, damn. You know what I mean? Y'all left me out. It happened one Passover. A brother was like, bruh, y'all didn't let me know about the garments. Because, first of all, you should have been hearing it in class. You should have seen the text. We're constantly reminding y'all. So we're just trying to do our part to be sensitive to the brotherhood. All right? Con? Okay, all right. So that's out of the way. Does anybody got any questions on anything online in here for Shabbat class? Okay, nothing? We'll wait, see a second online. Does anybody have anything? I know we took you from Christmas dinner, but you'll be fine. Huh? Chestnuts roasting? Huh? It'd be... the funny thing is, I was like, man, we need to get brothers and sisters off. But what happens when you give off on Christmas? Brothers be thinking like, what? We get off on Christmas. So we got to have class. Even though, it's like we got to go with their schedule, but we got to keep it rolling. Yeah.
My question was, because I've been meditating on it for a minute, how do you overcome discouragement when you're set back a little?
How do you overcome discouragement when you're set back a little? Go to Romans. Go to Romans 8 and I think it's 8. Let me see. Romans 8 and 1. How do you get over discouragement when you're set back a little? Right? Romans 8 and 1. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua.
That's what we want next.
Who walk not after the flesh.
Right, so there's no condemnation. You're going to fall. A just man falls 7 times. The only time you should be worried is when? Who knows the key when you should be worried? I'm going to say the beginning of it, you're going to finish it. The Most High has no pleasure in the soul that what? What?
Turns to his mom.
That's close. Draw it back. But it's the same point, right? That's the only time when you're supposed to be worried. Mistakes, unless you're just a demon. And now if you're a demon, you're doing things on the low, then of course you should be worried with that too, right? But if you make mistakes and you fall, this applies. We all are going to make mistakes. So if you're Satan in the flesh or Judas, then yes, worry. All right? If you go back to your vomit, then worry. Right? You go back to the things that you were supposed to be changing from, then worry. Other than that, how do you set your mind to right? Everybody has to realize that no one is perfect. Even yourself. You have to know that you're not perfect. And I got to keep moving forward. I got to get up and keep fighting no matter what. That's what the grace is for. The grace is for not for you to use excuse to keep in your mire, but to get up and go for keep moving forward. So I'll get, for question's sake, Proverbs 24 verse 16 after this. But go ahead and read that one more time for the top.
There is therefore now no are in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right. If you are in Hamashiach Yahushua, in that mind, in his mind, right? There's no condemnation to you. So where is the condemnation? Read.
Who walk not after the flesh.
See, that's when you need to be worried. If you're walking in a fleshly, carnal mind, that's when you need to be worried. But other than that, you're gonna stumble, but you gotta keep getting up and moving forward. What?
I guess I didn't quite make myself clear as like, you know, when like a couple days ago I fell. And it
Oh, you're talking about your body?
like yeah.
Sis, come on, man.
And so like I kind of got frustrated. But at the same time I had to rethink, okay, I was moving too fast. I need to be more aware of how I move.
Huh?
But having to be still at that moment, but trying to push my body through the physical pain, and then it still, you know, consumed me at the end of the night. And so I, you know, hit up Shalamaya and I asked her, okay, is there any other way? She was like, you just have to rest, you know.
Yeah, you gotta rest your body. You gotta go through and go to the chiropractor. So this question went all the way opposite of what we were going over.
But it you know, I did feel that way at a certain time a couple weeks ago. So I don't mind if you touch on it.
Sis, what's your question? Is it about your body?
Yeah.
Okay, if it's about your body, then you just gotta do the right things and go get the chiropractor, go get the massage.
Right.
Was that it, sis? Okay. All right. Any questions? Any other questions?
What is the real?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
There's one on mine.
What do we got?
How do you overcome the loss of a child?
How do you overcome the loss of a child? Is it time to really talk about that? Because when we talk about a loss of a child, if you just recently lost a child, are you ready for this talk? First and foremost, let me say that. Are you ready for this talk? Because when we get into this talk, remember, it's not personal. It's not me being insensitive. So what I'm saying is this: if you recently just lost a child, maybe you want to hold off on this question. Now, if you want to know, I'm gonna tell you, but it's a hard thing to lose a child, right? And when you first go through this and when you're dealing with this, like a lot of people can't deal with it. What I'm gonna say is what? Let's go back to the Bible, right? And in that moment, people that lose children, that can be insensitive, right? Be like, okay, so you're gonna tell me to follow the scriptures? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So whoever's asking that, I ask you, are you ready to hear what needs to be said to you? Because it's gonna come, and I'm not gonna hold back. So if you are not ready for that, just pause on that. Go through your mourning process. Go through the process first, and then you can come back and spiritually propel you to the next stage. Right? Con? But y'all see what I'm saying there, right? Yeah, it's hard, man. Like if I lost a child, I probably can process it through the scriptures, but some people don't really know how to apply the scriptures in their life. So for you to understand something like this is you got to be on a high level spiritually, right? So we'll wait for the response. We'll wait for the response on that. All right. Any other questions? Okay, we'll wait for the response. If they don't come back right away, then we'll go into this topic tonight. And tonight I did have a knowledge topic. All right? Right? No spiritual cleansing topic tonight. We're going to go knowledge on the Sabbath, right? That's what y'all want, right? No more? They want the knowledge?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything? Yeah. See, you're a spiritual man, though. You know what I mean? We touch on a lot of inward man topics and spiritual things to deal with your mind, to get you moving forward in the spirit. I'm going to say it all the time. Yeah, knowledge is good, but daily life, you need to know how to apply the Bible, right? How to become more Christ-like. That's the fact of it. So what was the response to that?
She said not 100% sure, just trying to stay grounded. She understands what you mean, and she'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Yeah, because right now, where I'm going to go with it is going to be straight up, this is the way you have to see it, and put all the emotions aside. And sometimes people ain't going to be ready for that. Right? So if nobody has any questions, I want somebody to hand these out real quick. There's 2 papers here. Okay? It's the writings of on the Moabite stone, translated, and then it's the actual stone on here. So hand these out real quick to everybody. They get 2, 1 of each. So today we're going to be talking about the Moabite stone. All right? But before we go into it, while you're handing those out, I want you to go to Revelations. And we talked about this a little the other day. Go to Revelations 12, verse 15. Let Chaazaqya read that. Let Revelations 12, verse 15. All right? Because what we're going to start doing on Sabbaths is going into a little more archaeology. Right? Now, well, does everybody know, because I know we got some kids in here, does everybody know what archaeology is? Archaeology. Does everybody know what that is? So, just a little definition here. Archaeology is the study of the ancient and recent human past through material remains. So, of course, we're going to talk about biblical archaeology because y'all need this, right? Now, what is this supposed to do for us? It's going to substantiate the Bible and the historical evidence of the Bible, the historical facts of the Bible, to show us that the Bible is just not a comic book, or the Bible is just not fake stories that was made up.
Right.
Now you need this because you being scholars, because that's what you are. You're coming back to your nationality. You're coming back to the truth. But you need this part. So we're going to be on the Shabbat trying to go over. Of course, we're going to mix it up. We're going to be going over breakdowns and a little bit of archaeology in the Bible and what they found today in this day and age to show that the Bible is factual, the evidence, right? You kids need this, right? Because just talking to my son, what they do in school now, they're really pushing this science on the kids. Really pushing that to where if the kids ain't understanding that their science is falsely so-called, they're going to what? They're going to get caught in the concepts of their science, right? And put that before the Most High. So you need the evidence that the Bible is not, it wasn't just a comic book, because that's how they're trying to play it off as. Or it's a comic book. Those are fake stories. Somebody made that up, right? And then you got the urban ideology. A white man wrote the Bible. Shakespeare wrote the Bible. If you go to Psalms here, it says shake, and then you read down 3 letters, it says spear. Right. You got that. So you got to see that you need this to really understand your history is true. Okay? So going into the Moabite stone. So let's go to these scriptures first. Go to Revelations 12, verse 15 and read that.
Revelations 12, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood.
Right. So the serpent. This is the revelation, the revealing to John. Right? We know Revelations is a lot of historically past, present, and future things that are coming out. You understand that? Revelations is a lot of past, present, and future things that are that the Most High wants us to know. So it jumps from future to past and to things that are going to happen. Right? Yeah. So the serpent. Who's the serpent? Let's see if y'all up to par. If y'all ready. Who is the serpent in Revelations? Go ahead, Kamar. You got to stand up, though. Go ahead. If you can.
The serpent would be Satan, the devil, and who we know as Esau.
Right. So the serpent is speaking of two terms: the spiritual demon Satan and his physical counterpart. But now here, it's talking about what? His physical counterpart. Because what the devil was going to do was cast out his mouth waters as a flood. Now, what do we know the water is represented as in the Bible? What?
Wisdom.
Knowledge. So in the Bible, the water represents knowledge. So Satan was going to cast out all types of knowledge. Why? To confuse you. Right? That's where religion comes from. That's where all the doctrines that newly sprung up and all things come from. Right? Some random guy in his basement, right, that feels he wants to bring some information out, but not correctly bringing both sides of the information out. He's going to go ahead and spew something out there, and the simple believeth every word, a wise man looketh well to his goings. Right? So now a lot of people are coming up with the knowledge of what? Everything. Right? So all these things are done to confuse brothers and sisters, to really get us to shun the Bible. You know what? That's why I don't believe in the Bible. But man, I got the video. Of this one woman we talked to last week. She was so confused, man. What Bible did you read? Well, I read all the Bibles. I use the Bible app. Okay. So I'm just like, all right, let's go to one then. I went to the Bible app, you know what I mean, hit her with that Romans 1:23 on down. And she was like, well, I don't really believe, like, you could, I'm like, but I just thought you said you was a Christian. So I put it in the NIV. Because if you get the NIV, it's more straight to the point. I'm like, all right, let's go there. She's like, well, they don't really believe in the scriptures. And that's what they're trying to get us to be like. Really don't give credence to the Bible. Really don't put the Bible in our life and make it work for us in our life. You know what I mean? So you got to see that we have to have a backbone and something to stand on. Right? So you know what? Another scripture popped in my head. Go to is Proverbs. You know what? I'm going to get that in a second. So let me give you the precepts to the waters being knowledge, right? Go to Isaiah 11:9, and then we're going to go to that Proverbs. Go to Isaiah 11:9 and read that, Aria.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all thy holy mountains.
Go ahead.
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord.
Right, because the Most High knowledge in the end is going to be supreme through all the land. There ain't going to be, there's not going to be all this confusion and all this chaos. Right? It even tells you in Isaiah that when Yahuwah comes back, the prophets, us, all these brothers and sisters, right? The many doctrines, it says, they shall see eye to eye. So Yahuwah is going to get a lot of things correct when he comes back, right? All is the moon, the new moon, the unseen moon? Is it the seen moon? Is it the first moon? Which one is it? Right? Because sometimes there's no specifics, right? Like that, like the new moon. You can go through the gospel and find certain parts, right? And then sometimes you can find the other part too. So it kind of leaves it certain things unclear, right? So you got the new moon. What else? What else? Israel don't see eye to eye to. What are some other things that, like schools need to start seeing eye to eye with? What else?
Flat Earth.
The what?
Flat Earth.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. I wasn't even gonna go there, but some brothers have adopted the new flat Earth theory, right? Right? We can go through the Bible. We can go through a lot of scriptures and show you, right, that it was flat. But then there's some things. When I look at the moon, I talking to Yeshaya, to him and Quatazab, I'm like, but the moon don't look flat. They're like, well, actually it does. It just faces this way. So I'm like, okay, but you see, we can go into that, right? The 4 pillars, right? The 4 pillars of the earth and all these things that you can go into. I mean, but what's the point? Right. What?
I think a lot of people, I think even in the truth, people get caught up in the flood by the Bible lets you know that it's not a globe, but you can't go up there and prove that it's flat either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's simple as this though. You can use it to prove that they're lying one way or another.
Right.
Because you can go outside every day, and while the sun's out here, you can see the moon here.
Right.
And at nighttime, if there's only part of the moon showing, even in the daytime, when the sun is shining directly on the moon,
right,
you should see the whole crest of the moon since the sun is shining directly on it.
Right.
They say that the shadow.
You've been ready for this. You ready. You ready.
All I'm saying is, you can just see this a lot because if the shadow's from the earth,
right,
the sun's behind the earth,
right.
Well then, if the sun ain't behind the earth and they're both looking at each other.
We know this, the devil's a lie.
Exactly.
And that's the point you're making, that the devil's a lie, that whatever they told us, we can't, the earth is spinning at 3 million miles or whatever, right? Right? The earth is spinning, like that one right there just never made sense to me. Because when you get in the plane, you know what I mean? You would literally just have to fly up in the atmosphere and wait till you get to the earth stops spinning and then fly back down, right? Which at that time, how could that happen if you are moving so fast, you hit the earth and just burn up, right? So it's things like that the flood is to keep us either locked out of the Bible, start searching for other things. Just like when you look at these cats dealing with the book of Enoch and the book of Jasher, it's always the things that aren't said that the book of Enoch and Jasher tries to fill in at. It's like, wait a minute, but the Bible ain't even speak on that. But it tries to fill those slots. Why? Because anybody can really fill those slots because it's not there. So a lot of times
They're trying to put these things in to cause more confusion, more double-mindedness. So it's going to be a flood of knowledge. But what is the simplicity in Yahuwah? And that's what a lot of us don't want to go back to, the simplicity in Yahuwah. Right? The things that are going to keep us learning the commandments, right? And applying the commandments and the laws. Right? Can we start there? Love the Most High with all thy soul, all thy heart, and all thy mind, and love thy neighbor as thyself, the two greatest commandments. Right? But we always want to what? We want to go for the quasars. Right? When you don't even got the basics down. So, but this is what the flood was going to do. Satan is not here to edify you and not here to teach you the truth, because they got the secrets that are hidden. Right? And if you deal with the serpent, he's the light, right? That's what they tell you. He's the light bearer, right? Which is really, that's when you get into the Messianic belief, right? They believe you worshiping the serpent is really worshiping the light. You know, they call evil good and good evil. So, but that's the flood. It's to confuse you to be like, nah, I'm good with the Bible stuff. There's so many translations. Like, listen, let's stop all that. There was one translation first. Let's go there. What was that? You see that? Okay, that's going to be the closest. Well, what is that? The Hebrew. Let's start there. You want to learn what is the closest? Let's learn some Hebrew, right? You see, but they try to overcomplicate it so they wouldn't have to do what? Commit to something. Right? They don't want to put no order or discipline or righteousness in their life, so they what? They have to do away with all of it. What's up?
I was talking to this guy the other day when I sent him the old Shun class. Because his wife is an own Shun, but then he.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he started studying about this ancient religion that the Africans, when they came over here on the slave ships, they studied, and he's going into that because he can't seem that seems to connect with his spirit.
Right. So she's Oshun, and he's studying some other African deity or god.
Right. But and then that's a whole mess of confusion because what he does do though is he practices that, but says the prayers in the Bible with that.
What?
So he uses the Psalms. He uses the Psalms, but it's
praying to another god.
We're praying that to another god.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's the flood.
God.
That's why, read that Isaiah one more time.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain.
Go ahead.
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord.
Right. So the earth was going to be full of the knowledge. All that confusion is going to be done away with. All that unsurety, double-mindedness, right? I know this, that the word is true, and if you use it in your life, it will change your life, right? You see that? But see, and I don't want to go too deep on this point, but it even goes down to the basics. What we might know as basics, right? We think this is basic, the 12 tribes of Israel. But how many people are going to try to discredit that? See, that's what the internet and the flood that Satan, right, put out. It's the confusion. Now, what we call is basic, we went over it in Ezekiel, right? Where do you get the 12 tribe sign from? The Bible. It says add a stick for Judah, then add a stick for Joseph. You keep adding sticks, you got a sign. Period. But they're trying to where did that sign come from? It tells you in the Bible, add sticks together. Right. Right? Of the tribes. But now they're going to discredit. Now, the Issachar brother that got a problem with Judah, he's saying you're Hamites. The Judites that have a problem with the 9.5 tribes, they're saying what? You ain't part of Israel. So now even in that, you got what? More flood of stupidity. See, all the foundation it's about picking the foundation up. So you won't have no foundation at all. Oh, what do you follow? Man, you know what, man? I just take knowledge from here, you know, and, you know, I do me. While at the same time, you're still bisexual, right? You're still smoking dope, right? So, because there's no accountability, right? You see that? I don't gotta be a good husband because there's no guidelines. I don't gotta be a good father, right? I don't gotta be a good wife because why? I get knowledge from everywhere. I use any and everything. And then, oh, you get knowledge from everywhere? Well, let's go to the Bible. Oh, well, now I'll mess with that. Well, I thought you get knowledge from everywhere. You're a knowledge seeker, right? But you see, that's the flood. But the Most High said the knowledge of the Most High is going to wipe that out. The earth is going to be full of the knowledge of the Most High. And then what does he say? Read.
As the waters cover the sea.
As the what?
As the waters cover the sea.
So the knowledge was like the waters. You see that? Washing of the water by the word, right? So water represents the knowledge, okay? Now, we got the Most High's knowledge, and then we got the knowledge of the world, right? So this is just showing you that the water was a similitude or an example of how the knowledge would overflow everything. Y'all see that? Go to Habakkuk 2 verse 14. Proverbs, Habakkuk 2 verse 14, read that.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord.
So this is literal, like this, just in Habakkuk saying the same thing, right? Go ahead.
As the waters cover the sea.
Right, so it's telling you the same thing, that the earth, the word will cover the earth like waters. So that's the symbolism of the flood. And the flood that the serpent let out was to confuse us, to keep us in every other thing except the Most High's knowledge. That's why he comes back. Go now, check this out. Go to Ephesians. No, let's go to Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 1.
Right, Proverbs 18 and 1. Proverbs 18 and 1. So I'm not going over the whole Revelations breakdown, but we got to get this part of Revelations to understand where this archaeology comes in. And you guys study also anthropology. You do, believe it or not. That's another big word, but you study it, right? And we'll look up that word, but we're not going deep into that. But we're going into the archaeology is these different relics, different things that were materials that were digged up that supports, the Bible, history, that they don't want you to know about. I bet a lot of y'all might know about it, but it's going to go in depth when we go into what actually is written on there. Okay? Because I'm sure y'all heard about the Moabite stone. We touched over it before, but we're going to actually read what's on the stone. So read that. Where you at?
Proverbs 18 and 1.
Uh-huh.
Though desire a man.
No, through.
Desire a man, having separated himself.
Read it one more time.
Through desire a man.
Right.
Having separated himself.
Through desire, a man separates himself. So what's the point for the flood? What's the point of being cast out to our people? It's not to enlighten you. It's to separate you.
Right.
It's to keep you separate. Go ahead.
Seek it. And intermeddle with all wisdom.
See, through desire, a man separates himself and he will intermeddle with all wisdom. You see that? That's the point. Now you be, well, isn't that good? Well, we'll see. That actually got it. What is it? That was Proverbs what?
18 and 1.
So jump over to Proverbs 17. In verse 24.
Proverbs chapter
Go ahead.
Wisdom is before him.
Right?
That hath understanding.
You see? So wisdom is before him that hath understanding. Right? He don't need to need to intermeddle with all these things, right? Read.
But the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth.
But the eyes of a fool are everywhere. They in the ends of the earth. He want to know everything. Well, the Most High, Solomon, he searched out. Yeah. And where did it help Solomon? Right? See, check this out. Solomon searched out everything, right? But who knows the conclusion of the matter? But no, who knows it? Who? Everybody, God. What's the conclusion, man? What was the conclusion after all he did? What? What is it? Go ahead, say it. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments. So you're saying, well, Solomon, he studied the Enoch. Right? Stop it, bro. You don't need to study the ant. You need to study these laws. You need to study these commandments. A fool's eyes are always into everything. Now go to Ephesians 4, verse 14. Because this is what the flood wanted, purpose. The flood's purpose was to not to get us locked in and give us wisdom. That way we can be wise like the ancients, right? It wasn't to do that. What it was to do was confuse you more. Right? Ephesians 4, verse 14.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14.
Hold on a second. Yeah, Tino.
I'm sorry, what's the title of the class?
Say that again? Oh, we're going over the archaeological evidence of the Bible. And we're starting out, I know it's a big word, huh? Spell that? You better ask Google. We're going over the archaeological. I practiced that. And we're going over the Moabite stone. All right? That's what we're talking about. So right now, we're in Revelations is showing about the flood that the serpent was going to put out there to disrupt and to keep our people chaotic. The flood of knowledge. Right? To keep your eyes in the end of the earth. Where you at?
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14.
Go ahead.
That we henceforth be no more children.
Right?
Tossed to and fro.
See, the point of the scriptures was to make you stable.
Right.
Have some stability and be rooted. The point of the serpent in giving Eve a little bit of knowledge, it wasn't to enlighten her. It was to get her to not have hope, faith, real trust in the Most High. So, all these cats that run up to you talking about the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher, the book of Enoch is all about angels. And the different realms of the angels. Right? And what the angels do. Why? If that was needed, it would be in the Bible. Why do you think the scriptures only give you how many angels? 4. You don't even really go into the 7 archangels. Why? Because to keep you simple. We're not here to worship angels, serve angels. So all these other books are concepts to bring you right outside of the Bible and to lock you into every other knowledge. And then when it comes down to simplicity, like you controlling your lust, you looking right past that. Right? You beating off and using dildos and using machines, that's not a problem. What's the problem is I don't know the round earth and the flat earth. Right? That's the problem, huh? You know what I mean? That's stupidity. Yahuwah Shai is going to come back and look at what you changed and how much of the new man you became. That's what he's coming back to say to you. Not on breakdowns. You know what I mean? The archaeological evidence that we have is to solidify the scriptures and to root you in faith. Right? But I'm not saying that you got to go out now. You got to go to the museum and you got to go see it yourself. And then you're going to have to go sit down with the scholars. You're going to have to go you don't necessarily have to do that because a lot of this evidence has already been given to us. You see that? You got to be worried about what Yahuwah Shai worried about. What did he worry about? What? Y'all tired, I know. What's up?
He's worried about getting the nation right, cleaning them up.
Okay. Worried about getting the nation right, cleaning them up. What else? Ministry. Yahushua was a ministry. You're right. Cleaning them up. How did he do that? Ministering to the saints. Feed my sheep. Right? And that didn't happen, what? By him taking his vacations to go search out scrolls or go to this other. He didn't do that. He focused on feeding his sheep. He wasn't on a permanent vacation. Because that's what that does. I got to go take a trip to Egypt and get my studies, man. I hear what y'all saying, but I got to. Let's deal with the simplicity in Yahushua. You understand? That way your eyes won't be in the end of the earth and all this other knowledge corrupts the basic things that you're supposed to be learning. Y'all get this? I'm saying that because as we go through a lot of these things in history and archaeology, you come back to the simplicity. This is why we've not touched on a lot of these things. And like I said before, I'm not saying y'all haven't got them. There's many brothers on YouTube that's given a lot of breakdowns and battles and things of that nature. I'm just saying we didn't go into it because we want to start brothers and sisters on the thing that really counts, that really matters. Knowledge puffeth up, charity edifieth. Our people, you got knowledge. You a scholar before you enter the school. Right? Before you walk through the door, you are already damn the 1230 shield general in knowledge of the Most High. But you don't know how to take care of your wife. You don't know how to take care of your kids. You don't know how to speak wisdom to your family. You don't know the balance of your anger, of your pride. You don't even know you got anger or pride. Because why? You're a Hebrew Israelite man. You're rah, 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 right? That's not necessary. You see that? So that's why we started on these things. And we don't take 90% of our time going into it. But y'all get it, though. Right? Right. Okay. Where are we at?
Ephesians.
Revelations, chapter 12, verse 15.
No, you're at Ephesians. So read that again.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14.
Go ahead.
That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro,
right,
and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
So that's the point. That you're not carried out with every wind of doctrine. Like a new doctrine springs up, and now that's deterred you from the basic, simple things that Yahushua wanted you to do. Right? Because for somehow it always deters you from the simple path. And we're not supposed to be that. A fool's eyes are in the end of the earth. That's why Satan drops and gives and puts all this information out there. They deal with the knowledge of good and evil. They're showing us that the UFOs are real. But on the other hand, you got people saying, oh, it could be a glitch in the machines. Right? But we're seeing all the evidence, right? But they're telling you they got cutting open aliens. They caught some of these UFOs and they're cutting open aliens, right? So, what do you got? You got the knowledge of good and evil, but you don't know what to trust. Right? You get the breakdown that the chariots of the UFOs are the chariots of the Lord, but then you're like, but then they got aliens cut open over there in Area 51. Yeah. Right? So what does it do to you? It brings a mind of confusion. You're like, damn, well, what is it? Well, we know the devil is a lie, brother. Right? And that's what we got to understand. The serpent does this to confuse you, to keep you in all these things. So, all knowledge ain't good knowledge. Remember that. All knowledge ain't good knowledge. Go ahead, read on.
By the slate of men.
Right, by the slate of men. So that's what that purpose is. The flood is to confuse you, to keep you in chaos, to keep you bouncing with no stability. All right? So go ahead, go back to Revelations. Where we at?
Revelations 12, verse 15.
Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
Right.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right, you see that? Carried away with every wind of doctrine. He wants you to be carried away with everything. Right? That way you won't have no stability, but you have a lot of knowledge. Right? What was the Pharisees' problem? They cleaned the outside of the cup, but inward it was full of bones. That's where he wants to get you. If he can get you in that place, he got you. Right? Go ahead, Rion.
And the earth helped the woman.
And the what?
The earth helped the woman.
So how does the earth help the woman? It tells you, we just read the definition of archaeology. It says here, is the study of ancient and recent human past through material remains. So the earth helped the woman through a lot of these material remains that now we can look back and say, wait a minute. Nah, the Bible ain't, Shakespeare didn't write the Bible. No dummy, King James didn't write the Bible. Right? That's like saying George Bush built the George Bush Church. Or a hospital. He didn't do it. Alright? See, with the evidence, we can disprove a lot of these things that they're talking about when it comes to the Bible. You get that person that you're on the street speaking and you're passing out flyers, and they say to you, man, well, really, I believe in evidence, facts. Right? You see why this is necessary? Now you can bring them from history and then bring them up to the spiritual. Because that's where they're at. They got to go through the carnal to get to the spiritual. Right? As a return, you learn the spirit first, and then we can show you the carnal things that's needed to gain the carnal. Right? You see? So, read on.
And the earth helped the woman.
Right.
And the earth opened her mouth.
Right.
And swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Right. So the earth, these evidences that the Most High has given us from the earth will destroy the knowledge of Satan. Right. And disprove a lot of these things. 2 Esdras 6 and 62. Go to 2 Esdras 16 and 62. Yeah, 16, sorry. Go ahead.
2 Esdras chapter 16 and verse 62. Yea, and the Spirit of Almighty God,
right,
which made all things,
right,
and searcheth out all hidden things,
right,
in the secrets of the earth.
You see that? In the secrets of the earth. There's a lot of things in the earth, man, that can't be hid. The giants, the bones they're finding, right? How big we were, right? All these artifacts that we're going to be going over that they tried to hide. Listen, the images of the Israelites to prove their dark skin. That's one thing, like going over a lot of history in this archaeology. I'm trying to look for the evidence of a dark-skinned Hebrew. But they're not going to tell you, bro. You're not going to find dark-skinned Hebrews. You're going to find Caucasian images, light painted images that they painted over, right? The only one closest, and we'll go over that too, was Joseph in Egypt. He was dark-skinned. They got the image of him. You see that? But that's rare they would do that. They had to do it to prove that what? See, you got the war. You got the war of them, the people that want to prove the Bible. And then you got the people that what? Want to hide that these are dark-skinned people. So you got all this war going on. So listen, the Most High is moving all these pieces. Because ain't no brothers up there. When's the last time you went to school to study archaeology? When I get older, I want to be an archaeologist. Right? How many of us? I don't think I even ever seen a black damn archaeologist. Huh? You know what I mean? So you got to see that the Most High is using Esau. He's using them. Right? He's using the Gentiles. They're thinking, man, I can come in. So he's using them to bring out a lot of this information. So a lot of the secrets that the Most High revealed from the earth, the Most High is going to reveal that to Israel. Go to Amos 3 verse 7. Amos 3 verse 7. Go ahead and read that.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 7.
Right?
Surely the Lord God will do nothing.
Go ahead.
But he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
But we got to study. You know what I mean? We got to study, and we got to study to get the evidence to teach our people. This is necessary. This is necessary. Like when you look at this, what we're going to go over, it goes right back to the Bible. It goes right back to the scriptures. Right? Now, I'm not saying the round earth don't go back to the scriptures, or the flat earth don't go back to the scriptures. What I'm saying is, though, bringing somebody to the faith. Is your topic going to be, do you believe in the round earth? No, it's probably not going to be that, right? You said, I hope not. Yeah. Right? Listen, brother, before we even get into all of this, round earth or flat earth, right? It's a joke, but they're doing it, right? It's a joke, but they're doing it. That's going to determine what, if I'm messing with you or not. That's stupidity, man. Stupidity. The Most High said he reveals his secrets unto his servant, the prophets. Right? Go from there, go to Ecclesiasticus 3, verse 19. Ecclesiasticus 3 and 19. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and verse 19. Many are in high places and of renown. But mysteries are revealed unto the meek.
Mysteries are revealed unto the meek. The Most High wasn't going to let the white man in America cap on us for so long. He was going to reveal these things. And that's why all the UFO information, we poison y'all information, right? We did studies of AIDS and syphilis on you. They didn't say AIDS, but that probably come out. You know what I mean? If this earth lasts a little longer. Right? See, all the information's come out over time. He brings these things out. Well, but the white man did what? He desensitized you, right? To where when you seen that on the news, oh, we were put through studies of syphilis and that hurt our people. That harmed our people. Our people just watch that like, wow, this is a crazy news story. We're thinking like, damn, they're telling you. Look, the devil's telling you. Right? They're trying to show y'all that they do these things. And they're like, wow, this is a crazy news story. But until the news came out with it, it was what? A conspiracy theory. You crazy guys, you hairy guys screaming on the corner talking about they're against us. Right? Nah. So you got to see what is being done. What's up, Aria?
They made a movie, it was somebody who was telling me about it. They made a movie on the Tuskegee Project, but in the movie, it's them being the heroes. Wow. They went to the city, and they came with the antidote to help heal them from syphilis. Right.
Yeah. No. Maybe that's Zondervan. Right, so once again, the Most High start revealing these things to wake us up. Y'all know what's going on in the world. But what was everybody else going to do? Party and Bush. Party and Bush. Right? The scripture don't go like that. It says, marry, given in marriage. Right? They were going to do those things. Right? They were going to be partying and right? The world is in it. Omarion's out there killing everybody, and they're what? They're still what? Worried about Christmas gifts. You know what I mean? They're worried about these things. Ain't nobody stopping this for them. But little by little, the hype is dying down, right? You know what I mean? Little by little, it is. I know. Y'all in the mall, and y'all like, these are maniacs. It's like, but it's dying down because the Most High, little by little, putting his fruit out of there. He's putting the chosen out of it, and people are waking up. Some people, man, tell you, I don't celebrate Christmas. You know what I mean? No, I don't do that because I know it's not in the Bible. You know what I mean? Not everybody, but little by little, the Most High is waking us up. All right. So read that one more time.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
Many are in high place.
Go ahead.
And of renown.
Right.
The mysteries are revealed unto the meek.
Right. The Most High has revealed the mysteries to the meek. The meek were going to inherit the earth. The Most High has a lot of this information accessible. A lot of these things are, of course, more accessible to us. We never accessed it, studied it, read it. All right. So let's go into this Moabite stone. So the Moabite stone, for y'all that are going to actually take notes, because some of y'all got like photographic memories. For y'all that are going to take notes. So the Moabite stone is also known as the Misha Stone. It's also known as the Misha Stone, as you see on there. On the paper. I passed the paperwork out for all of y'all online. Actually, sis, that is the thumbnail, but that's fine. That'll work too. It's the other picture, but that's fine. It's also known as the Misha Stone, and we're going to get into why it's known as the Misha Stone, because that goes back to the Bible. That's the crazy thing about it. The Moabite stone is known as the Misha Stone, right? That goes back to the Bible. But before we go into that, this stone dated back to 850 BC. 850 BC. And check this out. That was during the time of who? Ahab. It was during the time of Ahab. The wicked king. His reign was Jezebel, right? It goes back there, right? Now, y'all know who the Moabites are. Do y'all? No, you don't, because nobody does really. I got y'all. Listen, the Moabites, the information on who the Moabite people are, there's got to be a lot more proof than just they're Mongoloids, because some of y'all got Chinese eyes, all right? That'll make you a Mongoloid, and that'll make you a damn incestual baby because you got Chinese eyes. All right? So there's got to be a little bit more information that comes out on that. But the Moabite people was during, they're still around. We just got to get some more information on who they are. Right? Who had the hand raised? Yeah.
I was just going to say, they going to
right? They go into captivity wherever they are. Right? So 850 BC, this dated back, if you want to put that in biblical terms, during the time of Ahab. Alright? Y'all got that? Okay. Now let me get one of these papers here too. Because we're going to go over reading what's on them. Alright? Now, the reason why it's called the Misha Stone is because it goes back to the king of Misha of the Moabites. Right? That's why it's called the Misha Stone. Y'all get this? Now it tells you here in number 1, I don't think we numbered them online. You can just keep it up there, sis. I don't think we numbered them online. You can use that. I did number them. But number 1, it says here, we numbered them so you can understand what line we're talking about. But starting from 1, I am Misha, son of Chemosh, the king of Moab, the Dibonite. My father had reigned over Moab 30 years, and I reigned after my father, and I made the high place of Chemosh in because he has delivered me from all kings. Right? So Misha was a king that goes back to the Bible. So how do we know, and why is this significant? Because it goes to the Bible
and it talks about biblical characters, the historical evidence shows that these biblical characters are what? Real. So that's how the white man does it. He's not faithful like us. Right? We know the Most High said in Deuteronomy, he was going to put you in captivity or slavery. We didn't need a stone built up or picked up or found. You knew when what? Those lashes hit your back that the Lord was real. You were like, I need historical evidence to show me that this ass whooping is real. It's real. Right? We don't need that, but the white man is no. We have to prove it. There's got to be factual evidence, right? Well, this Moabite stone, this obelisk or mini obelisk that they found, they call it a stela, right? It had on here his account of his reign, right? And how he reigned, and as we read down, how he overthrew and took power back from Israel. So let's go there. Let's go to 2 Kings 1:1, and let's prove Misha was a Moabite king, biblical. So now we got the physical evidence, the archaeological evidence, then you got the Bible evidence to prove that this stone, the historical people were correct. And there's a lot more in here though. Hopefully we can get through it. You know what I mean? So read that, where you at? 1 Kings.
2 Kings, chapter 1 and verse
2 Kings 1:1.
Then Moab rebelled against Israel.
Right.
After the death of Ahab.
Right. So Moab rebelled against Israel. Right? After the death of who?
Ahab.
Right. Now, what are we understanding here? And I try to simplify this as basic and easy for us to get it. We're understanding that Misha recorded the time that he rebelled. That's in 2 Kings 1:1. You see that? Now his account of who he rebelled from, right? If you go down, there's so much in here, man. There's so much in here, but I want to go down to it goes down. Hold on 1 second. So if you go down to verse, let's start at number 9. But Kamesh restored it in my days, and I built Baal Meon, right? Because he's telling you, they serve these gods, right? They weren't afraid of them. And I built a water reservoir in it, and I built Yatim, and the men of Gad lived in the land of Atrat. Remember, these are their names they put on it, right? Yeah. But what are we finding out now? Just from that little point, I want to see if y'all picking up. Our people were there. So now, what he just did is certify that there are 12 tribes of Israel. That the tribe of Gad was around there. Right? Not a make-believe, right? People, but a real people that they lived. What I should have did is, and I didn't do, is give y'all a map of where Moab was and then where Gad was, to where we were real close to each other. I should have got y'all a map. That's one thing I messed up. My bad. So he's showing us here that what? And the men of Gad lived in the land of Atrat from ancient times. And the king of Israel. So now we're finding out what? The Israelites weren't a fake people. Their ancestry weren't fake. Y'all see this? That's what the archaeological evidence, this is what they do with this evidence. It proves so many things in here. Right? I gotta look down. We're going to be jumping around in here because there's a few other things. So we went to 1 Kings 1 and 2 and 1. 2 Kings 2 1 and 1. Read that again.
Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab.
Right. Right. Now go from there. Go to 2 Kings 3 verse 1. 2 Kings 3 and 1 and down to verse 4. Do me a favor. Please don't have them reading the whole time. Their voices are strong, but not as strong as I want. So mix it up. All right. Go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 3 and verse 1. Now Jehoram, the son of Ahab.
Now who?
The son of Ahab.
Okay, hold on a second. You're at 2 Kings.
Chapter 3, verse 1.
Right. Now listen, when you get breakdowns or historical things like this, it's gonna be boring evidence, right? If y'all are not ready for it. But if you understand how you can use this in the gospel, use this to teach, use this in your schools, you kids in here, to when you know how to actually flip through this and be able to speak on it, you can chop somebody up, bro. I used to chop my teachers up. When I was y'all age, 15, 16. They were like, where'd you learn that from? Right? They wouldn't think you know this. But you gotta know this. You gotta know your history. Alright? So, 2 Kings 3. And you're gonna read it again?
2 Kings chapter 3, verse 1. Now Jehoram, the son of Ahab.
Right, so remember, Ahab, the wicked king, right? Listen to Jezebel, right? His lineage, right? Go ahead.
Began to reign over Israel in Samaria.
So Ahab reigned over who?
Israel.
Right, who's that? No. He's speaking of the 9.5 tribes. I got you. It was a trick question. So Ahab reigned over the 9.5 tribes. Remember, the kingdoms were divided into 2, right? He reigned over Israel and Samaria. You gotta point that out, right? Because the kingdom was divided into 2 kingdoms, Rehoboam and Jeroboam, right? Rehoboam, I always mess this up.
Rehoboam ruled the southern kingdom.
The southern kingdom, which is Judah.
Which consisted of the 2.5 tribes, Judah, Benjamin, half the tribe of Levi.
Right.
And then
Jeroboam.
He was the 9.5, which consisted of
all the other tribes. Right. We know Levi was amongst all the tribes, so that's why you say 9.5. You hear 9.5 or 9 tribes because Levi was amongst both tribes. Right?
And divide the priests.
Right.
With the southern and the northern.
Right. So Ahab was king over Samaria, which would be the northern kingdom. Y'all got that? Go ahead, read.
In Samaria, the 18th year of Josiah, Jehoshaphat,
right,
king of Judah.
Right. So now it's telling you who was ruling in Judah. Go ahead.
Jehoshaphat, king of Judah.
Right. Read.
And reigned 12 years.
Read.
And he wrought evil in the sight of the Lord.
Right.
But not like his father.
Right.
And like his mother.
Read.
For he put away the image of Baal.
Right.
That his father had made.
Right.
Nevertheless, he clave unto the sins of Jeroboam,
right,
the son of Nebat.
Right. So, man, it's crazy because you got these kings getting into power and they want to show some obedience to the Most High, but not full-hearted to the Most High. It said he took away Baal, but his spirit in him wasn't right. He was still doing things that weren't right. We know that because as y'all read the story and how he was letting Medusa, he was letting Jezebel run him, and how she was killing the prophets, he wasn't right. You see that? So, a lot of kings, when you go through here, it's interesting because a lot of our kings, it's almost like they didn't come full-hearted to the Most High. So they kept a lot of these things around, these high places. Y'all should go online when y'all get a chance and go look up Baal high place. And they would build these platforms to where you can go ahead and sacrifice to Baal. Right? Go ahead.
God, nevertheless, he claimed unto the sins of Jeroboam.
Right. Go ahead.
The son of Nebat.
Read.
Which made Israel to sin.
Read.
He departed not therefrom. He departed not therefrom.
Read.
And Misha.
And who?
Misha.
And who?
Misha.
Right. So, you see what's going on here? So on the stone, now you got the biblical evidence that, and the archaeological evidence that shows, wait a minute, the Bible talks about this guy, Misha. He wasn't a fake character. You see that? Now, Misha saying how he rebelled against Israel, that goes right with the scriptures. He said he rebelled. Read on.
And Misha, king of Moab, was a sheep maker.
Right, so he was a sheep master.
Sheep master.
Go ahead.
And rendered unto the king of Israel.
Right.
And 100,000 lambs.
Right, but we read in 1:1 that what happened? He rebelled. You see that? So we were ruling Moab, and then he ended up rebelling and getting back power. Right? This stone is his account of the power that him getting back and his boasting on the stone. Y'all see that? Right. So, read on.
And 100,000 rams.
Right. So that's what he was given to show what? Obeisance, tribute to Israel, right? Now let's go back to the stone. We're going back to the stone and we're going to go verse 17 or number 17. Line 17. For I had devoted them to destruction. Okay, hold on a second. Let's go up a little bit. Okay, we're going to go to 13. Before the face of Kamesh in Kiryat, and I made men of Sharon live there, as well as men of Maharat. And Chemosh said to me, go, take Nebo from Israel. So now the Israelite people are written, right? The land where they lived at is correct. See, you're doing a few things now. Now when you look at the land maps or the biblical maps, you can see, oh wow, it's exactly what was said. Now, I know for some of y'all are like, okay, Con, we get that. But this is, remember, this is evidence for Esau, the world, for people to see that the Bible is historically backed. I know y'all are like, well, yeah, Con, I get it. You know what I mean? He was there, Moab there. I didn't doubt. Nobody doubted that, right? But they do. They doubt these things, right? They don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in the historical account. So you going through this stone, you could bring out all these different accounts of the people, the tribe of Gad, the nation of Israel, the ruling over Moab, right? The Misha king. You see that? Now check this out. And I went in the night and fought against it from daybreak until midday and took it, and I killed the whole population. So what is Misha king doing here? No, he's lying. He's lying like all the presidents do, right? When they write their historical account, he didn't kill all the population of Israel. You see that? But when they make their account in the historical, in the history books, they're what? Oh, he freed the slaves. Abraham, was it Abraham Lincoln? Abraham. Yeah, he freed the slaves. Knowing damn well that ain't happened. Right? See, these are the things you got to see as we go on in this stone, that he kind of boasts a little bit too much. I killed the whole population, 7,000 male subjects and aliens, and female subjects, aliens, and servant girls. For I had devoted them to destruction for the god Ashtar. There you go. So all these gods we've been teaching against, Astarte, the Easter, Christmas, all that, they were serving Baal Peor, right? And from there I took the vessels of Yahuwah. Wait a minute. Let's read that again. If you go to the stone, it says it on the line on the stone. I put it, what I did is I put it up there on the internet, but I didn't circle it here. I should have gave y'all the circle one. But on the stone, it says, no, that's not it, sis. On the stone, it says Yahuwah. Why is this important? Let me see. Because it doesn't say Ahaya, y'all. It doesn't say Ahaya. They knew our God was who? Yahweh. They know we serve Yahweh. Right? And I'm going to find it on here.
It's in line 18.
Line 18? Oh, yeah, right there.
Yep.
Now, yeah, line 18 going up. Remember, it's right to left. Right? So, Yahweh. Now, check that out. Even the heathens are telling you we serve Yahweh, not Ahaya. See? You see how much evidence is in here? You can go back and say, hold on, his name is not Ahaya. That's not the proper way to say it. We call him Yahweh. Right? He is, he be. Not I be, he be. You see that? So, it's showing us here, man, that somebody got it wrong. Brothers got it wrong. They need to learn some damn Hebrew. Right? Now, what's the other argument with Ahaya? I'm going to throw that in there since we touched on that. Anybody know that argument of Ahaya? That what?
Oh, when you go to Exodus 3.
No. That the Masoretes put Yahweh in the Bible. That the Masoretes, the so-called Jews, put Yahweh in the Bible. But the Masoretes were not back in 850 BC. So that kills that noise. That kills that. The Masoretes didn't come out to way after. Right? So that's wrong. You see that? So you see how many things we're killing with this history, archaeology? The Masoretes, they said, well, the Masoretes put that in there. That's why I said on the show, I'm like, you're a dummy for saying something like that. You're basically telling the people the Bible was tampered with. You're helping out the 5%ers. You're helping out the Muslims. You're helping out everybody to basically say the Bible was tampered with. If that's the case, then now, why don't we trust the Bible with the Masoretes? What else did the Masoretes put in here? That shows you, man, these guys is like, bruh, you need to sit down and learn before you run your mouth, because you can say the wrong things. Right? So that was one of the arguments, that the reason why Yahweh is written in the Bible is because the Masoretes put it there. The Masoretes are these so-called Jews. Esau. The Masoretes were not back in 850 BC. Y'all got that? So on the stone, it says Yahweh. So that's another thing we got out of the way. The name of the Most High, the tribe of Gad, where Gad lived. The Israelites were a people, right? Because you get, remember, you're going to get a lot of people that don't even know nowhere near about the Bible that you do. But they're going to try to say, what? Oh, the Bible, that's not real. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? This is how you kill them. Y'all get this? Okay. All right. So, we are reading now. Okay. Yahweh. All right. Okay. I want to see what other point we got up in here. Okay, so you finished that in Kings, right?
Done.
All right.
I was at the top of both.
You were at the top of what?
Verse 4. Misha.
Right. Okay, finish that. So you finished 4?
Nah.
Okay, finish the 4 verse.
God. 2 Kings chapter 3 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And Misha, king of Moab, was his sheep maker, and rendered unto the king of Israel and 100,000 lambs.
Right.
And 100,000 rams.
Right. Now, so we're getting his account that he rebelled. That goes back to 2 Kings 1:1, proving he did rebel. Right? Because why? The Most High wasn't with Israel. Israel was doing wickedness. Judah and Israel. The 9.5 and the 3 tribes, right? Okay. Now, so we got that about Misha. That is correct, right? Now we're going to jump back up to line 4 on the stone. And it says here, because he has delivered me from all kings, and because he has made me triumph over all my enemies. As for Omri, the king of Israel. Okay, now let's go to the Bible. Let's read about Omri. So Omri, we're gonna find out, is the grandfather of Ahab. Right? That's the line of the kings of the southern kingdom. Yeah. Northern kingdom, excuse me. Yeah.
I think he's his father.
Right. Omri?
Yeah, I think it's his father.
I think you're correct. I think it is his father. Right? We're going to go there. Go ahead. Go to 1 Kings 16 and 15. And I'm going to get over here. I'm going to get this Bible dictionary real quick. Hold on 1 second. So, when you go to the Bible dictionary, and you go 609, we're going to talk about Omri. So, Omri, 6th king of Israel, who reigned, may be typically dated back to 886 to 874 BC. Omri and Abel, if unscrupulous soldier. So we're going to find that out, that where Omri comes from. Remember, what we're doing is just going to the stone and proving if these people is it correct according to the Bible. So obviously, according to Misha, he recognized Omri as king. He didn't really recognize Ahab as king, right? Maybe because Ahab put him through captivity, right? Maybe they were under captivity of Ahab, so he wanted to what? Boast and act like he don't know him, right? So it says here, is in the first Hebrew monarch to be mentioned in non-biblical records. This is what we're reading now, right? On the stone. And rare importance. It says, it was not until 847 BC that Misha included Omri's name in the inscription on the Moabite stone. But it is in fact that Omri subdued Moab. It is more significant that the Assyrian records record after Omri's day frequently referred to northern Palestine. Okay, we're getting to all that. I don't want to give y'all too much. I want to make it as basic as possible. So Omri, let's go there. Let's go to 1 Kings 16 and 15.
1 Kings 16, verse 15.
Right. Oh, right. So, okay. Yeah, we'll jump back down there too. Go ahead.
In the 27th year,
right,
of Asa, king of Judah,
right,
did Zimri reign 7 days in Tirzah, and the people were encamped against Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines. Mm-hmm. And the people that were encamped heard say, Zimri hath conspired and hath also slain the king. Right,
so what you see here is niggas in Israel. our kings were doing what? Being lifted up. And another king will come in. Zimri came in and killed, right? That king, right? So all the, you know how when you look at these modern movies about what was going on in Europe, right? And all the different kings that were coming to power, and there was so much drama in there. It was like that, right? Sex with all the women in the court, right? Adultery, murder. That was going on. Why do you think the Most High was killing Israel? Why do you think that he never respected, these lines of the kings that came up? Jeroboam and Rehoboam, man, there was a lot of wickedness going on right after that. You see that? And when you go into Kings, into Chronicles, a king will come up. It was rare, a rare righteous king would come up, and he wouldn't last that long, right? Or he would last a little long, and then what? Another king would come in and take over and bring wickedness back into Israel. What was our problem? Consistency. Right? Consistency, staying consistent. So, this was going on with the kings of Israel. So, this is going to tell you how Omri got to be king. Go ahead.
Wherefore, all Israel made Omri the captain of the host.
So, what happened is the king was killed. So, Omri became the general, the captain of the host at the time. That's the same Omri we're reading on the stone in line 4. Right? Go ahead.
King over Israel.
Uh-huh.
That day in the camp.
Uh-huh.
And Omri went up from Gibbethon, and all Israel with him. And they besieged Tirzah.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when Zimri saw that the city was taken, that he went into the place of the king's house.
Uh-huh.
And burnt the king's house over him with fire.
Because they knew Omri was going to come and what? Omri was going to assume position and power and usurp authority, being lifted up, because they didn't want Zimri to be king. So Omri was going to go, they said, no, we want Omri to be king. They raised him up to general. Then Omri was going to go get Zimri. But Zimri wasn't having that, so he what? Burnt himself up in the castle. Go ahead.
And died.
Right.
For his sins, which he sinned in doing evil in the sight of the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And walking in the way of Jeroboam. And in his sin.
Man, that's how you know you get your name. Your name is important. Right? How many years are you going to be known as that guy? You see that? Your name is important. You sisters, you got to realize your name is important. Nobody can fake the front. You act silly, stupid, disrespectful, disobedient, disgruntled, you're just going to be known for that. You can try to, I'm not that person. But everybody's seeing that person. That's what we see in here. His name was so bad, every king that did bad after him was like, look, they did like Jeroboam. They did like Jeroboam. Man, they didn't let his name die. You know what I mean? That's how wicked he was, and that because he lit a fire of confusion that blazed how many centuries after him. Right? The worship of Baal. Right? The worship of these different gods. And then all the kings afterward were known as, oh yeah, he did like his forefathers. He did like Jeroboam. He did like Jeroboam. That's crazy. Go ahead.
And it is sin which he did.
Right.
To make Israel to sin.
Right.
Verse 20. Now the rest of the acts of Zimri and his treason.
Right.
That he wrought, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel?
Right, because remember, Zimri was cutthroat and he went and killed the other king. They weren't having that, so Omri was lifted up. But where was Omri? Was he right? We're going to find out. Go ahead.
Then were the people of Israel divided into two parts.
Uh-huh.
Half of the people followed Timnah, the son of Gennah,
right,
to make him king, and half followed followed Omri.
So you see how much more confusion? You see when men are selfish and only thinking about themselves, that's why you got to watch what you're doing. You got to watch your actions, how you deal with the nation, what you represent. You know what I mean? Because the things you represent, the things you say, people are going to be looking at that and they're going to take that into account. You see? That's why a lot of things I don't let brothers and sisters drag me into. We said that from the beginning about the round earth. You're not going to drag us into that. Why? Because you want to drag us into that to make us pit us against people. You know what I mean? They want to pit us against everybody. You see, so it's hard. I'm not saying we're all clean, but it's hard to stay clean and away from the confusion, right? Because people are going to drag you into confusion. But at least if you stand right in the eyes of the Most High and not be part of it, He knows you're just, right? And I'm not just saying that just to say that. I mean that literally, you're standing on righteousness, and there's no confusion around you because you stood on righteousness, not because you wanted to get what confusion. These kings were wicked. They were about power, right? We're not trying to build brothers, sisters that is about power or lifting one brother up or lifting one school up. It's not about that. It's about lifting the Most High up. That right there is a downfall. Is going to happen eventually. We know just during our time about who? The so-called comforter. Most High tried that man down. Why? Because he lifted himself up as the comforter. So this is not about taking glory from the Most High. It's about giving all power and glory to the Most High. Y'all get that? And look at our forefathers to see they keep messing up in this way, and the Most High kept destroying them over and over. Their kingdoms didn't last long. And if it did, it burnt through and was to destroy Israel. Excuse me. Go ahead.
But the people that followed Omri prevailed against the people that followed Timnah, the son of Gannah.
So now you got, first of all, this is the 9 tribes. Divided amongst the 9 tribes, killing the 9 tribes for one king. See how much confusion? That's because men want power. It's not about power. The Most High is going to strip all of us of our rank, position, and set us in the right place where we're supposed to be. That's what we have to understand. Anything else is a facade. We're just servants. You got to keep thinking like that. Go ahead.
So Timnah died.
Right.
And Omri reigned.
Right.
In the 31st year of Asa, king of Judah.
Right.
Began Omri to reign over Israel.
Right. So y'all see that. So this account of Omri is correct. Right? Now, when you go back here to the Zondervan, it says Omri is, that was it, right? Omri is? Right, that was it, right? Yeah, Omri is dismissed by the Hebrew historian as an evil influence. Right? First of all, you see why you can't really go a lot of things in here. You got to be able to decipher through this. He's dismissed as an evil influence. What do you mean dismissed? Like either he did it or not. Right? He did it or not. So when you go through the scriptures, you'll see, was Omri just? What did the Most High say? What did these holy men that wrote this down in the spirit of the Most High give account of this man? You see? It says, and indeed his marriage of Ahab, his son, to Jezebel. Right. So Ahab was the son of Omri. Princess of Tyre. Y'all got this? Okay. No doubt a trade alliance was fought with most disastrous consequences, continuation, though it was of Solomon's and David's. Listen to what they said. tyrannic policy. First of all, David was a righteous man on the account of the scriptures. And for the most part, Solomon was righteous until the end. So you see little nuances in here they try to throw in, and that will formulate your thought process unless you know biblically. Well, was David tyrannic? Was he a tyrant? Nah, to Saul maybe, because this nigga was off. Not even to Saul, excuse me. That Saul was dead already. My bad. He didn't deal with tyranny. He was a just man. It's not going to say he was a man after the Most High's heart, and then you're able to say he's a tyrant. What's that?
Well, they would say that because he did chop up them.
Right, there you go. He chopped up the nations. I get it. So perfect.
Tyrannical to them.
Right, he was tyrannical to them. That's perfect. That is true. Go ahead. Read back on in the scriptures. We're going to read to verse 28.
12 years.
6
years reigned he in Tirzah. And he brought the hill Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemir, owner of the hill, Samaria.
Right. So, go ahead.
But Omri wrought evil in the eyes of the Lord.
So there you go. It wasn't that. It wasn't that he, they made him to look out to be something he wasn't. It's telling us here, Omri wrought evil in the eyes of the Most High. He didn't do right. Now, check this out. I want y'all to think right now. All right, I only got a little bit left. We're probably going to end a little bit early. But ask yourself this. What do you see is happening with these kings also? What's another little nuance in here that we're seeing? Just think about lineage. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? I just gave it away. What are you seeing? What?
Fighting the damage of their father.
There you go. What, and to put it in a little more clearer, if I may, is that every wicked king, their sons were coming back and doing a lot of the same wickedness. Train up a child in the way he shall go. What logic, what mind state, what mentality were they teaching their children? For Omri was wicked, who was his son? Ahab. Ahab was what? Off. You see that? What you do, your logic, the way you move, right? If you're not showing your children the right way, and you trying to dispel some wicked logic, or daddy had to put the smack down on her, she got out of order, right? And you're trying to dispel that, your kids are going to pick that logic up and follow what you do. So you got to watch what you do, because your generations, right? One of our favorite scripture in Genesis 18, it said about Abraham, we know that he was going to follow the Most High, and that he was going to teach his children the commandments, right? And his generations. So when y'all go through the Kings, if y'all can learn anything, it's, man, I'm going to have an effect on my seed. They're gonna follow my customs. When you walk around the house, when you move, wives, husbands, they're watching us, and they're gonna pick that up. Y'all see that? That's what I got out of it as I was reading about all these different kings coming right back and doing the butchering of another king and slaughtering and assuming position. The cutthroat things they were doing, their kids was doing the same thing. So Omri, verse 25, but Omri wrote evil in the eyes of the Lord. Go ahead.
And did worse than all that were before it.
Well, how could you assume that was just... what did it say? Omri is dismissed by the Hebrew historians as an evil influence. He's not dismissed, he is. The nigga was wicked. It said he wrote evil in the sight of the Lord, and he was worse. Right? Go ahead.
For he walked in all the ways of Jeroboam.
See? Jeroboam, the Most High ain't letting his name. He like, everybody that goes off, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. You. Go ahead.
The son of Nebat.
Go ahead.
And in his sin, wherewith he made Israel to sin. To provoke the Lord power of Israel to anger with their vanity.
Right.
Now the rest of the acts of Omri which he did, and his might that he showed, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Omri slept with his fathers, and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab, his son, reigned in his stead.
Right, his son reigned in his stead. So y'all see this? Okay. So I went over Israel, the people. I went over the name Yahweh. So now y'all got it here. Y'all can go through this. But for the most part, those were the vital points of this. You know what I mean? To show that these people were here. There's an account, right? There's evidence. All right. Yeah, that's all I had on that. Y'all got any questions on that? Y'all can go back. You can go back to your Bible dictionary. It's gonna repeat a lot of what we just went over. And a lot we didn't. We went into the name of the Most High, right? But you can go read up on Misha, Omri. Of course, y'all should know Ahab, his story. His story is full in here, right? All right, y'all got any questions on that? Quick, straight to the point. What did I make it too? I try to simplify all that information and make it real basic. Was it clear? Okay, all right. Does anybody have any questions or anything on that? Okay, it's 10 minutes early. 10 minutes early. Does anybody got anything they want to bring out? Yeah.
I know this is another factor of just showing the way that the Bible is written historically.
Right. That's the whole point of this.
Just the historical.
The historical backing. Yeah. Yeah. So we can't edit. There's a lot more stones we're gonna go over. It might be quick. I'm gonna try to bring out all the little evidence on it. You know what I mean? But we get all that. That way y'all have these backings. And what I want to do is, what y'all should do is, you should take these right here, laminate them, throw them in your folder, and then you have the evidence. You know what I mean? You want to hit somebody with, a little information. You got your historical records right there. Boom. Just little things, man, that make us more scholarly, right? It's supposed to be like that. So, does anybody got any questions on that? On the topic, off the topic? Anything online? I know y'all tired. Long day. It is the Shabbat. We'll see if anybody got anything online. And if nobody has anything online, then we'll salute. We'll give them a few seconds. Nothing. How y'all feeling?
Wow.
Good? How was your ride? Your ride was good? It was alright? It was easy? Alright. Yeah, well, a while for coming down. Y'all get time to know the sisters. I mean, did you come down last time? No? Yeah. Sisters showed us a lot of love when we went out there, cooking for us. You know what I mean? They didn't give no fuss. It was all love. So y'all show her some love too, man. Make sure y'all get to know her, you sisters here. So nothing online? Okay. All right. Let's salute them online. Say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat. We'll see y'all tomorrow live. All right, for Sabbath morning class. Everybody else?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh shines the power, yeah. Chilling.